This video is brought to you by JSK.com. We're one of the largest tool retail company in Canada's capital region. If you want to buy any tools you see in this video, please come to our store or visit our website. More detail in the video description. Nowadays, just about anything has an app. Your HVAC system might have an app, so you can remotely control and turn it on and off. Your car might have an app, so you can preheat your car before you drive it home. It feels amazing that a lot of companies are trying to integrate their product into another device that you daily use and try to improve it and add more functionality and customizability into the product. But the reality of it is a lot of companies are trying to use that as a marketing tool. And in a lot of cases, those add-in functionalities are pretty much flat out useless and pointless. Around the time that I made the one key video, I was doing some research about all the one key enabled Milwaukee tools. And at that time, I found this. The one key enabled Super Sawzall is pretty much their Milwaukee's M18 flagship sawzall at this point. And it, like its name, comes with the one key connectivity. It adds in a few small features here and there, and also the general one key tracking feature and locking feature to the tool. But no matter what, I still want to take a look and want to, give it a shot and see if it's worth the while, because there are not one key versions of this tool that's still available on the market. And in fact, we still have a ton of it that a lot of people buy it. So I want to know if the one key is worth it. So I gave it a try and it actually blew my mind. Now there are a ton of customizability, a lot of things that you can tweak, you can turn off, you can turn on in the settings, and I won't cover all of that. But there are three things that kind of sold me on the idea of a customizable Sawzall. So during the past few days, I deliberately didn't touch any of its smart feature or customizable feature when I was doing the previous video when we test out all the blades. So I got a general idea how a dumb or a normal Sawzall will work. And then yesterday when I was testing for this video, I turned on some of its feature and it's actually amazing. So in this video, I'm going to share with you a few of my favorite customizable options on this Super Sawzall. Now, I'm not going to compare it with the DeWalt and the Makita Sawzall you can see behind me because that's for the next video. So everything I say about this is purely my opinion on this Sawzall only, not to compare it with other brands. So as I mentioned, there are three features that kind of sold me on the smart configurability of this Sawzall. The first being soft start. So what it does is it kind of makes every single cut into two stages. The first is a slow ramp up stage where you cut a slight groove into the material, and then once it detects the blade is already into the material, it will start full speed. Kind of like a ramp up, but instead of doing it with your finger on the trigger, the Sawzall will do it for you. Now, a lot of people can argue that you will get better using it over time, and you can learn how to soft start yourself or try to control the speed yourself with a trigger. But the thing is, the trigger only has about 1 centimeter of travel until you bottom out the trigger. So the amount of control that you have just with the trigger is not that precise. And the process is kind of horrifying when your blade are shifting around on the metal pipe where you can't really start cutting to a deep enough groove to start your cut. Maybe to a lot of professionals, it's kind of a training wheel thing, but to me, it's very useful. And I believe to a lot of people, it's a feature that they can gain a lot of confidence in using the tool and getting better at it. And in the beginning, I thought of the same thing. I can just control the speed with my trigger, with my, with my finger just fine. Why do I need a special feature just for that? But it turned out very useful. And the second very useful feature, actually the feature that sold me onto the tool, is called cut break. What it does is the blade will stop by itself as soon as it detects it leaves the material, or as soon as it finished the cut. It's kind of another feature that I was like, yeah, I can stop it myself. I don't really need it. It's kind of pointless. It's kind of redundant because I am controlling the saw. But in the end, I found it very, very useful again. Maybe because I'm still a beginner or I'm not that familiar with the tool itself, but just trust me, give it a try whenever you have the chance. You can come by to our store or something. It's a feature that's very comforting. It gives you a lot more confidence in using the tool and make you don't have to worry about whether or not you're going to cut into the table or cut into something that you shouldn't, because it will automatically stop by itself and it's almost instantaneous. And from what I believe, because the feature gives you a lot more confidence in using the tool at full speed, it will make your cut faster because you don't have to guess how much material you have left near the end of the cut, and you can just blast through full speed and the blade will stop by itself. You don't even have to do anything even though you're still holding onto the trigger, the blade will stop. And originally I thought this feature only works on metal pipes because I was assuming it was detecting the pipe using the metal blade as a conductor to do some like current sensing or something fancy like that. But to my surprise, it works on wood too, and it works on plastic. Now I think about it, it's pretty much just torque monitoring. It monitors the torque that you put onto the motor inside, and it's smart enough to determine the stage of the cut. In the beginning of the cut, it detects very little torque, so it knows that you are probably just starting off the cut, so it slows down the blade. And at the very end, it can also detect the sudden loss of torque, and it determines that you finished the cut, so it stopped the blade. Now, the third feature that surprised me is kind of related to the previous video, because I was trying to figure out what blade I should use to test all of that, but it turns out I don't have to make that video at all, because the OneKey app tells you exactly what you need when cutting through whatever material. In the app, when you're setting up the profile, you can put in what material you need to cut, and it'll tells you what blade is the best, or which one is better, or which one is not that recommended. In general, none of those small features actually breaks the ground. None of it significantly changes how the Sawzall feels like. But I think it's all those small details and small little touches that make the Sawzall just that much more useful and that much more user-friendly than other normal dumb Sawzalls. Now, to me, if you already own the previous version of this Sawzall, I don't know if it's worth a while to spend the money and upgrade to a newer one just because of those two features. But if you're looking for a Sawzall on the market and you never had one before, I strongly recommend this tool. Not just because it's a fantastic tool by itself, but all those nice, comforting features will make it much nicer to use as a beginner who just pick up the tool. As I mentioned in the beginning of this video is not to compare this with other brands, so I'm not gonna make any comparison, but from my recommendation, you can kind of hear the results. If you want to watch that video, please stay tuned and subscribe to our channel. It's probably going to be next week or maybe the week after, it depends. But if you like this video, please click like and subscribe to our channel. You can share this video with your friends, your family, and your neighbors. You can also leave a comment, reach us from Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. See you next week. Bye.